All right. On today's episode of Thrive University, we have Colin and Kevin from Onward and Upward. They're joining us to share some insights that they have into comfort zone, growth zone, stress zone. And so, would like to welcome everybody to Thrive University today, and like to welcome Colin and Kevin.
Hello.
Woohoo! Thank you, Matt. We appreciate it. Yeah, guys, thank you guys for showing up, for the people that are here, and I'm excited that it is being recorded so that we can share some of the good things, some of the wisdom that gets discussed today with anybody that wants to tune in later. I'll just introduce myself. I'm Colin Courtney. I'm one of the instructors and program directors for Onward and Upward. And Kevin Baca is my right-hand man. We love running programs together. We usually do. And yeah, Onward and Upward, if you haven't done anything with us yet, we're another nonprofit in the Valley that focuses on outdoor education and experiential education. So trying to learn as much about life skills through experiences and as little through textbooks. So we facilitate a lot of different games and activities and experiences, all to create more learning, really to improve the quality of our lives, of everyone, teachers included. So you guys help us, and hopefully we can help you as well. Yeah, and I don't think I need to share too much about myself. Maybe we'll share some more if you guys can play on the ropes course with us on Friday. But yeah, Kev, you got anything you want to add?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head with Onward and Upward. Hi, I'm the other instructor with Onward and Upward. My name's Kevin. And yeah, we'll be running our backpacking courses this summer. We have 2 8-day backpacking courses, which Matt has reserved 6 spots, I believe, on both of them, on all of our trips, actually. So we're running 2 8-day backpacking trips and 2 4-day rock climbing trips. So if you feel interested in that or want to hear more about that, you guys can find it on our website, or even have Matt direct you to us, and we'll tell you guys more about it. Or if we're there on Friday, then we can just share it.
Just like to chime in that I would definitely like a lot of those spots to go to our varsity students before we put them out to everybody else. And so if you would like a spot on one of those trips, please let me know. We are working with Onward and Upward to increase their loaner equipment that's available. And then we are also will have gear stipends available for personal gear. So we would like students to be able to participate in these without a lot of out-of-pocket expense. So thanks for reminding me about that, Kevin.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, as the snow is melting, we are so excited that it makes it way more fun to play on the ropes course when you're not covered in snow. And that freak day, you guys know, on last Friday when it was like 4 degrees out, we had to run a ropes course day. It's like, oh my gosh, no.
I'm glad that wasn't our course.
Not yours.
Yeah,
you guys
we
are
were out
looking
there shoveling the night before.
Yeah, we were shoveling out areas to do certain stuff the night before. So you guys really lucked out. I think we're going to be well into the 40s on your day, and our most of the snow is melting so quickly out there. So, and like Matt was saying, we're going to start on the low ropes course, but really we're going to progress into the high ropes too. And it ties into what we're here to discuss today, which is our challenge by choice circle, which is all about any experience in life, anything that goes on in a human's life can either have them in their comfort zone. It might be something that pushes you out of your comfort zone into what we call your stretch zone. You're kind of stretching your limits a little bit, and that's actually where we grow the most. So we call that the growth zone. Or certain things are going to push you way too far past your growth zone into what we call the stress zone, where you're starting to get stressed out, or even like the panic zone. And so when we're on the ropes course, that is the perfect opportunity to start working with your limits and honoring where you're at, and receiving support from other people to honor where you're at with this is really freaking me out. I'm going to give it a little bit of a go. Or with one of the first things we do when we get off the ground and we're actually on the high ropes is you can pick, okay, can you raise me up 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet? And you can go all the way up to 20 feet up in the air in your harness, and we'll review the safety systems and you guys will get a better understanding for it. But even when okay, the system makes sense, all of this works, it's still freaking me out, maybe your growth zone that day is just going to be 3 feet off the ground, and 10 feet off the ground is going to be that panic zone. So we'll work with you guys, and each element where you're at as the day goes on, that changes. You watch other people do it and you're like, okay, I'm feeling more confident. If I had to be the very first person, I don't know about this. But when you're like the 10th or 11th person, you're like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And we're going to be out there with you guys for a while. So even if the very first time you're like, I just want to go up like 3 feet, and then a whole bunch of other people go, and you're like, hey, okay, I want to go up 15 feet. You're like, all right, let's take you up 15 feet. So it's cool to find and learn how these zones change depending upon situations and how they're so unique for everybody that's there. So this is one of the reasons we love working on the ropes course, because it's just such an opportunity for people to push their limits and be also honored and respected by their peers for where their limits are.
Yeah, and the challenge by choice circle doesn't only apply to the ropes course. It applies to mostly like all of our lives. So we have this little document that we put together that we want to share in the chat. It's just a little Google Draw image that we have used in the past. And when we get on there, everyone will see 2 symbols next to their name. The first symbol is just so we know who is what symbol. And the second symbol will be your interactive piece that will be moving around the board. And we'll do a little activity with it. So I just posted the URL in the chat, and you guys can all click on that, and it'll take you to the Google Sheet or the Google Draw form thing.
And I changed a couple of the names on there based off of who I saw logged in when I first got on here. So if your name is not on there, please let us know. And also, if for some reason when you click on the link, if you can't get in, let us know.
Yep. If you can't get in, we can just
oh yeah, let's get Matt in there. What the heck? Let's do this.
Matt, you should just be able to click on that link and it should pop you in. Oh, okay.
He just needs a spot. We're gonna give him the all direction arrows. Perfect. I didn't see Izzy today, so we'll put him in there. And then Kevin, for to be able to view this on the Zoom as well, can you screen share even if we can get everybody on there? Or maybe
Matt, do you mind making me a co-host?
Yeah, you should. Are you not able to share?
No. If you go to participants, and you should be able to go over my name, press more, and then make co-host, I believe.
Okay.
Is anyone struggling to get on the document at all?
Yeah, you can try it now.
Okay. You guys can press escape if you have it up on your computer. Yep. So this is our challenge by choice circle right here. And we're going to explain a little bit about what each zone is. I understand that like some of you guys have been in our course when we talked about it in person, and like we did that visual representation on the floor with this. But those of you who weren't here, we want to make sure that we identify what each circle is all about. So if you guys can see my little heart move right here, no pun intended. Yeah, we'll start at our comfort circle, our comfort zone. So talking about our comfort zone, this is the area where we feel like the most comfortable or chill, right? So like a little activity of like what this represents would just be like reading a book or like playing video games on like a PC or like Xbox or something. Like a lot of these activities, you're not really like fully engaged, and you can kind of tune out to if you really want to. And it's where you just feel most at ease, really chill. Moving out towards here, the stretch zone or the growth zone is where a little bit more learning happens. Maybe some like adrenaline starts to pump for you, and like you feel really engaged. So like mentally, you're going to be like pretty aware of your whole situation and what's going on. And that's the area that we want to put you guys at as Onward and Upward. And doing new activities in your life will put you in the stress zone, the stretch zone, because you've never done it before. So a new activity that you have never done before, you're going to be like, okay, so like, how does this work? How am I going to be able to practice this and get better at this activity? And this is the zone that you'll be at throughout all of that, because you're growing yourself, right? You're growing your own personal ability to learn a new skill. If you stretch yourself too far, you're going to enter your stress zone or your panic zone. And what that might look like is fight, flight, or freeze response. Have you guys ever heard that before? You can just like raise a hand. Yeah, Allison, sweet. Allison, can you talk a little? Just like give me a little example of like what that looks like.
So your I can't remember what part of the brain, but it's either triggered by a flight or fight response. So people, for example, you come across a bear and you're like, oh no, I'm gonna run. You either run or you're gonna either fight the bear. And that's not what you're supposed to do, but there's good people that already do that. So you could either, or like, for example, the bear attacks you. You're gonna either fight back or you're gonna do what most people would do, get down. You would protect yourself over fighting. So people have those either way. And I can't remember. I learned this in psychology. I can't remember what part of the brain it's triggered by.
I believe it's your amygdala.
Amygdala, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I did a whole presentation on parts of the brain. So yeah, the amygdala is what creates fear. And that's basically what's going to be working with the fight and flight.
Yeah. So our amygdala is our first thing that, thank you, Allison, sorry. Our amygdala was the first thing that basically developed when we were like Neanderthals or like cavemen. And like during those times, we either did three things when we came in contact with like a predator. We would either like freeze still and be like, oh my God, what is that thing? We would either flee from it because we knew it was dangerous, or we would just try fighting it because we had no other reaction to it. We didn't try to like reason. We didn't try to use strategy to like kind of produce it or like kind of manipulate it a little bit. But now we have so many different parts of the brain that it's just like our lizard brain part of it now. So whenever we are found in a very stressful situation, that's when our amygdala kind of triggers, and it's that fear response. What Allison was saying, like it'll exactly go back to like your lizard brain, and the rest of your brain won't even be active. Like if you would look at like a chart of your brain, your amygdala would be the one that's glowing if you're in that stressful situation, and you would do one of those three things. So we don't want to put you guys out here, because if you were to do a new activity and you would be in your stress or your panic zone, and when you come down off that, like that fear response, you're probably not going to want to do that activity again. Right? Like if I were to go skydiving and I'm terrified of heights and I jump out of the plane without any warning, and like my instructor was like, yeah, I hope the parachute opens, I'm going to be flipping out. Like I'm going to be in here and I'm never going to want to do it again, even if the parachute does open. Right? Like I would want to be in this area because like I'm feeling that exhilaration. I'm feeling that rush. And I am like, okay, like I'm ready for this new activity. I've never done it before, but I am ready for it. I prepared myself mentally, physically, and I'm ready. Right? So we're going to do like a little activity. Or if Colin, do you want to add to anything?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say maybe a few things to comment on it is that, oh gosh, I just lost my train of thought. What was I thinking of? Oh, when we do get stressed out in any situation, when we are stressed out, we're just like anxiety starting to come in, we're shutting down, that growth doesn't happen anymore in those points. So when you are totally stressed out, there's no more growing, and we don't want to push you to that place, and we don't want to encourage you in your own life to put yourself in a spot where you're going to get that stressed out. And later we're going to talk a little bit more about, well, sometimes that happens without even knowing, and what are those things that we can do to calm ourselves back down and come back into a place where we can grow from an experience, versus just like be totally stressed out, panicked, and never, ever, ever, ever want to do that experience again. So sometimes we can calm ourselves back down. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention, where's my little cursor? Let me come over here. Is that within this, that it's not black and white. It's not like one one zone, second zone, third zone, but we do this kind of on a sliding scale. So I would say dead center of your comfort zone would be the absolute most comfortable thing you are doing. Like even something that you like, eating your favorite food that you're just like, oh my gosh, this is so good. You've eaten it so many times. Like it, we call it comfort food for a reason. It makes you feel good. It doesn't, we have our comfort foods and sometimes we like to eat those. And so, that would be dead middle on your comfort zone. And then maybe a food that you really love, but it's cooked by somebody different and a little different way would still be in your comfort zone because you like that food, but it's getting more towards the edge of it. And then probably like trying a new food that you've never tried before. And you're like, oh, okay, I'll give that a go. Like you're growing, you're trying something new. Anytime we're trying something new, we're growing. And then if you're like, oh gosh, I usually really don't like that style of food, but I'll give it a go. And then, there's people who have been traumatized in their life with food and have been like forced to eat things or made fun of for like whatever food patterns they have in their diet. And so being told they're going to try a new food, for some people, that's going to put them out here in their panic zone. So, and within the panic zone too, there's like, okay, I'm right on the edge. I might be growing, but I might be panicking, would be like right in here. And then, here's a sliding scale as well. So like, this might be your ultimate biggest fear of like having to wrestle an anaconda or whatever might come up. So just want to talk about how these things vary a lot. And that kind of like what Kev was talking about is that this is everything in life. Everything in life could come down to, for a person and unique to a person, is that in your comfort zone? Is that in the middle of your comfort zone? Are you starting to push yourself a little bit? Okay, I'm definitely pushing myself. And am I choosing to do that? And then potentially, nope, for me personally, that was too far. That was too far. And that stressed me out. And what can you do to bring yourself back so that you can still learn from that experience?
Yep. Yeah. So going with our little activity, when you guys scroll over your second little shape right here, it's just like a click and drag. So once you click it, and yeah, you can just drag it just like that. If anyone struggles with this, you guys can just turn on your mic and then you can tell Colin or I or Matt, and we can place you wherever you say you would be within this area.
Does that make sense?
Well, thumbs up.
Thumbs up. I'll
Cool.
scroll through and see if we get thumbs up from everyone.
Yep.
Looks like it. Cool. Thumbs up from Harley, Janae. Awesome. Yeah. And Matt added in there too. You can use the chat to let us know if we need to move you around if your screen's being difficult.
Yep, totally.
So what we want to do is with this group, with us that are hanging out today, thinking about a few different things. And so you're going to use your cursor. So leave one of your images right now. Let's just grab one of your shapes that's next to your name and just place it out here in the panic zone somewhere. So we can all just make sure that we can indeed drag that to a location. Cool. And sometimes you'll find that they'll like want to change shape and you're like, no, stop it. Don't change it.
Yeah, that being said, so technology is pretty finicky sometimes. So if like, say like you go to try to drag it and then next thing you know, someone's shape is like that, just bear with us. It'll be some laughs, and yeah, definitely some technological issues. We've definitely.
But this is the best. This is the best way we've found to do this on Zoom. Yeah. We were talking about this a bunch with some of our summer programs this past summer when we couldn't be in person. So we still wanted to bring some of these learning points to our courses. So we figured out how to make this little like Google Draw document to be able to share in this.
Yeah, it was really weird being an outdoor educational program and having to switch all of our programs onto Zoom.
Yeah.
I think we did a pretty good job.
Yes. So I'll start with a couple of different things. Then I'd love to have you guys either write it in the chat or take your mute off and share something, and let's see how we move around. So we can see in our group that's hanging out today where people are at, because one symbol will still be next to their name, and then the other symbol will be wherever they've moved it to. So I'll kick us off with one. And how about the activity of having to introduce yourself to someone new? And then I'm going to twist that too. So place yourself. Do you feel really comfortable? Is that kind of pushing you out? You feel like you're stretching a little bit when you're in those situations?
Faith's in the panic.
I know. It's like, Matt, you're in the panic zone? It's like, you do this all the time, but sometimes we do things all the time and still. I also like how I see not anyone is really dead center on their comfort zone, because I think that's very
Okay.
like reasonable, where you're like, yep, some people are more comfortable with it. Nice, we got some movement there. And then here's a little twist on it. Let's see if this moves you guys around a little bit. How about introducing yourself to someone who is half your age? So I'm 31, I'm about to turn 32. So a 15 or 16-year-old, that's like you guys. Probably more comfortable speaking with you guys than like,
Aiden, you're having some trouble just getting on this document. Okay, cool. You can still see it though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you can just let me know where you're at and I can move you.
All right. Thank you.
cool. All right, so we saw some things move around there a little bit. How about this? How about having to introduce yourself to someone who is twice your age? I think that pushes me out a little bit more.
Okay, I have a clarifying question.
Okay.
Is it like somebody that like our parents know, or is it just someone random?
Random.
Random, huh? I'm a little outside there. Close to panic, but still in growth. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's interesting how these different little things can tweak it.
Oh, wait, no, though. Aiden, where are you at?
I'm extremely comfortable with this. I do it all the time for BPA and a lot of the other things I do, so it's normal for me.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, and that's one of those things too, where like we said, the first time you do something, it's almost always going to put you into your growth zone or possibly even your panic. But the more times you do that thing, it's more going to creep closer and closer to your comfort zone, or maybe even be right in the middle of it. So that's cool. How about, as you guys are a leadership group, what about if something like this, you were in charge of running it? What about leading a group of peers through an activity? You're in charge of leading a whole activity from start to finish and the discussions around it. How would that make you feel? Nice. Cool. How do I pronounce your name? Is it Janae? Is that right?
Yes, it is. Sorry, I was trying to find my Zoom. I was on the document.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, cool. I just want to make sure I was saying it right. I was just noticing that you and I were kind of right about in the same. So right on that edge, we're like, yep, it's kind of starting to push me a little bit, which is good.
I got one.
Okay, what do you got, Kev?
What about just going to school? Waking up and going to school every morning.
Waking up and going to school. Gosh, given I haven't done it for a long time now, I feel like that's...
I feel like I'm like right here too. I go to school like every day, but like it's different.
Yeah. All right, now I'd love to, we've got some more ideas, but I also like hearing from you guys. So we'll do our best not to talk over each other, but it also is hard to click between Zoom and your web browser that you're on. So feel free to shout out something, and it can be anything that could ever happen to a human being, anything in life, any experience, and let's just see what that would do for each of us.
Hanging out with a new friend group.
Ooh, so yeah, not your normal friend group, or not a friend that you've been hanging with for a while, but hanging out with a new friend group that you got invited to go spend some time with, or just ended up being with a whole new friend group.
Aiden still in the middle? Yeah, okay.
Nice. Aiden, sounds like it's a little bit hard to stress you out, which is a great quality.
What about having to talk to somebody who you're having conflict with?
Ooh,
good one.
about the conflict, or just having to continue to have conversations with someone that you're having conflict with?
Yeah, we'll say about the conflict.
About the conflict, so confronting someone who you're having a conflict with.
Yeah, it's something I've had to learn how to do. So I'm more comfortable with it now that I've, you know, taught some, maybe not skills, but some tips, I guess. Just,
You've had-
different things to focus on.
Can I move you a little bit closer to your growth zone? Or are you right in the middle?
Yeah.
Aiden, does something like that like at least like send some butterflies up? Like does you get some like butterflies within? Like you may be able to do it, but like do you still get that feeling of like, okay, like I'm gonna have to do this, and like you still get that like kind of like an anxious feeling?
A little bit, not as much as it used to be, but definitely is still there.
Okay, yeah. So
Cool.
like something like that, like even having that little bit of feeling is like a little outside your comfort zone, and like that's like still part of your stretch zone and growth zone. So
Okay.
like at first for you, like that may have been like out here, like where my heart is for your stretch zone, but the more you do it, the more closer you get to this.
Right.
But if you still have that feeling of like that butterfly feeling, then you're probably right on the cusp of like your comfort and stretch zone.
Okay.
Which is great. It's awesome to hear that you are doing things in your life that still kind of, you're like, all right, I got to talk to this person about this thing that we're having an issue about, and I don't know how they're going to respond to it. And you're thinking about how to have that conversation, and you're kind of planning it out. That is usually, yeah, you're growing in those moments. These are things that we all need to be doing. We're growing in those moments.
Yep.
That was a good one, Matt. How about another one from somebody?
Taking a standardized test.
Ooh, having to take a standardized test.
I am not a test taker.
Ooh, yeah. Who went flying out there? Is that Allison that's way out of there? She's like, no.
Allison, are you close to taking a standardized test? Is that why
I'm retaking my ACT this weekend.
Yeah. Oh man.
Okay,
I
maybe
wish
we
you all
should have
the
been
luck.
more specific, because most standardized tests I would be okay with, but man, I remember the ACT and my time with that. Ooh, probably would not be in the comfort zone if it was that standardized test.
Aiden, where are you at?
For me, I'm normally pretty indifferent about them. If I do well, I do well. If I don't, I don't. I'll study for it. So I'm pretty comfortable with it. It's just more indifference, I guess.
Okay, more indifferent. All right, I'll put you right there.
What about being expected to do multiple things at the same time?
Ooh, being expected to multitask. Where are you guys at? Allison, are you still freaking out? No, Allison's a pretty good multitasker.
Aiden, are you still in comfort?
And Aiden, I'm specifically talking about like at Fly Trampoline when we were working there.
I was gonna be like, that's my job.
Yeah, that was extremely stressful. That was not at all organized or anything. If I'm prepared, I know I can, but if it's a last minute thing, it's completely different story. So it really just depends on the situation.
Okay.
I guess more in the
growth zone, it's definitely pushing you a little bit.
Yeah, it depends on what it is, but going off of the fly thing, that was extremely stressful. So
maybe even pushing closer to the panic zone.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What about that lady at the pool that would keep on yelling at you?
That was more comfort zone.
Really? Because you
didn't really bother me.
Aiden, you'll have to fill me in later on that situation.
Yeah.
How about Sharing something vulnerable with a new friend. Uh-oh, I lost my document. There we are.
Aiden, where can I place you?
It's not something I'm uncomfortable doing, but it's not something I'm comfortable doing. So it's like,
Like right on the edge?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or even right in the growth zone, because if you're totally uncomfortable with it, you're probably more in your stress zone. And if you're totally comfortable with it, then you're definitely in your comfort
I'm
zone.
totally fine doing it. It's more how it's going to affect, the relationship where it's uncertain for me. I'd be totally fine opening up to anyone about anything. Just, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah,
that's
and
that
a lot to do with,
vulnerability
like-
aspect, right? Like
Mhm.
sometimes when you're vulnerable, you don't know how someone else is gonna react to it. And it's kind of like it's like a leap of faith. You're being
Right.
vulnerable. Yeah. So
Mhm.
like, yeah. It's definitely a little bit of a growth zone.
yeah.
Mhm.
What was the question again? Sorry, my brother asked me a question.
It was sharing something vulnerable with a new friend. So not somebody who you've been friends with for a long time and really have that trust with, but sharing something vulnerable that you might be working through with somebody who's more of like a new friend.
Definitely panic.
Okay. Thank you for your honesty, Faith. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Let's get two more, and then our time is flying by. It's already 4:46. So I just want to have a little bit of a discussion. We'll close out of this and just talk a little bit more as a group in Zoom. But let's get two more of these things.
All right.
I got one.
All right, Kev, what do you got?
All right. So some of you may have to do this if you're thinking of college. So how about writing a 15-page paper?
Whew. Really, I feel like for me, this depends upon my time frame. Do I have?
That's fair.
Mm.
Yeah. Do I have
Say,
enough
okay, all right.
time to get
I'll-
this done?
I'll up the ante a little bit. How about you had 2 weeks to write it, but you waited until a day before.
A day.
Or you were in a-
before
you were in a
gotta
coma
finish
for
a
2 weeks.
15-page paper.
That sounds like something I would do probably.
Yeah, so you procrastinated and you have your sources, but you need to put them all together and write a whole 15-page paper in a day and a half.
You slackers.
If I have everything, like all my resources and everything, I could definitely do that. I actually do that more often than I should.
That was my college experience. So.
For me, that'd be more comfortable.
All right, yeah, ball right here.
It's actually in the comfort zone.
In the comfort zone, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do this.
Well, everybody, Aiden can do your papers for you.
Yeah. Part-time job here. Just kidding, not promoting that.
Faith, are you still in your growth zone with that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh wait, that was Allison.
I
Sorry.
have like one toe in the growth zone that believes like I can do this, and all the rest of me is like, oh my god, what have I done? This is so stupid. All right. I don't want to take too much. I think we'll call that. Matt, how long do we have before we got to sign off?
Yeah, we can go ahead and start wrapping up.
Okay, cool. So, yep, we'll stop the screen share there. And if you guys can come back to Zoom and leave that document wherever it is or close it up.
Yeah, thanks for playing that, guys. I think that was the smoothest that's ever gone for us.
Yeah, and I want to ask you guys a question. And really, it's taking this concept and we're going bigger with it. And it's recognizing that in life, we like our comfort zone. Everybody likes their comfort zone. It's like eating comfort foods. It's doing what we're good at. It's doing what we've done a million times or that we just know that we really enjoy. But in our comfort zone, we don't grow. And at the end of the day, if we don't grow as humans, we're not going to feel good about ourselves. And really, we got to push ourselves a little bit. And so I'm asking you guys to maybe be a little vulnerable with us and each other. And I'm happy to start this off, but what is one thing that you know would be good to like work on trying? Like, what's one aspect in your life that you want to try to do more, where you're like, I see that I'm just staying here in my comfort zone and I need to be pushing in. I know it's better to be in my growth zone, but we have a natural resistance to it. But what's one thing that you kind of know for yourself personally that you need to work on that will push you outside of your comfort zone? So anybody have one right off the bat that comes to mind, or I can share mine?
Cooking different foods.
Ooh, Faith. So cooking different foods, maybe that also kind of goes into like trying different foods, and not necessarily eating the same old things that you know are tasty. And there's such diverse nutrients out there too. So like starting to find fun ways to work with vegetables that you used to think were gross, but actually you can make them taste really good in a certain dish. Nice one.
Cool.
How about some others?
Studying. I mean, when I'm in the moment of doing my things, I'm good, but it's the act of doing it and getting the stuff that I need to do. Like if I were to have to study for math, which I'm not taking math anymore, that would freak me out because like I suck at math and it's like really hard for me. So yesterday I studied for my Spanish quiz I had today, and I did really good. I feel like I did really good, and I feel like that's something I can do well in improving.
Nice. Yeah. And those little tidbits of like when you can notice that self-success and you're like, okay, you know what? And it feels good that you're like, I put the effort into that and I think that went really well. And those are good to have those points of reflection, and trying to apply that to more other areas in life where you're like, oh, maybe my comfort zone is just like procrastinating. But actually, when I get out of my comfort zone, I do that studying ahead of time, I feel like I have a better result. Nice. How about Harley, Aiden? What do you know that you need to push yourself in a little bit more?
I generally, if I find myself, getting really used to something, I try to find what I can do to, step it up. But something I know I need to work on is giving myself more time to really give myself a break from all the different things I put on myself, whether it be for a club, an organization I work for or with, or any of the other things I do. I just put a lot on myself and don't give myself time to really
chill out.
Yeah.
Take a break. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes that can be, the flip side of it is like a coping mechanism of just like staying busy. And then we lose the ability to chill. And like you end up like some of those like adults that are just workaholics and they don't know how to stop and just sit in nature and chill. And so maybe people are more comfortable doing things quite often. Kevin and I are both yoga instructors, and one of the hardest poses in yoga is actually the one at the end of the class when you lay flat on your back at the end of it and it's like you take a nap. But for so many people, that's actually the hardest pose they're ever going to do. So recognizing that in ourselves, I'm so happy to hear that, Aiden, that at your age you're recognizing this. You're like, this is something I need to work on more. Yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing.
Of course.
Harley or Janae?
Compromising with people.
That's a good one, Harley.
That is a good one. Yeah, definitely see how that it brings more goodness into our lives when we're able to meet those compromises. If anybody likes to play around with astrology, I'm a Taurus, and Taurians are known for being very bullheaded. So I have had to learn to compromise and have found that is a better result for me in the end.
Totally. He's pretty good at it now.
Yeah. Janae, will you wrap us up?
Yeah, sure. I also like to be, I like to be in control of everything, and I like to have everything done my way. And so I'm working on, letting other people have things done their way, because it's not all about me and what I want to do. So.
Yeah, recognizing that not everything's in your control, and just like recognizing like, okay, I'll let it be. I'm not going to let it bother me too much because I have nothing to do with it. I can't do anything about it. I'm just going to let them be. Totally. It's a good skill to learn.
Nice. Matt, do you have one, or Kevin, before we sign off?
I've been pushing myself to get up earlier and just spend some focused time in the morning so that I'm not kind of rushing into my day. So I just trying to stay focused on that.
Nice one. Yeah, I feel that too. My comfort zone is my bed. When that alarm clock, I can just keep snoozing it and snoozing it. And you're like, no, if I just would have gotten up, then I wouldn't have been rushing through everything and been more mindful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, my comfort zone is the snooze button. Yeah. I think we'll pass it on. Or Kev, did you have one that you wanted to share?
Yeah, I really want to get back into, because I haven't been that good at it. Just like sitting down and like practicing a breathing exercise. Just like recentering myself and getting myself ready for the day, instead of clicking that snooze button. Yeah, just getting up and like doing a little breathing exercise before I start the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll quickly share mine. My thing that I would like to work on, and this is so cool that I'm grateful that Kevin and I and Matt have things that we're willing to work on and share on, is that like this is all humans. Like adults need to be doing this stuff. We need to pause and be like, where are we getting stuck in our comfort zones, and where are we, it's like that old thing, you like can't teach an old dog new tricks. And it's like, yeah, because they get stuck in their comfort zones. And we as adults need to be reflecting. Everybody needs to reflect and go, where am I just chilling in my comfort zone too much? And how can I push myself to grow a little bit more, but not stress myself out? And I think my one is at the end of the night when most everything's done and we're done with dinner and I'm just hanging, my comfort zone is going to my phone and going on to social media, seeing what my friends are posting about, seeing what's there. And it's like, am I really growing in that hour that can disappear or half hour that can disappear? Or could my time be better spent studying Spanish, using Duolingo, or actually reading a book and whatever wisdom's going to come from that book? So something I want to start working on more is not going into my comfort zone of playing on my phone when I don't have something that needs to be done, and trying to find more productive things that are going to help me become the best version of myself in those moments of downtime.
Cool. Thank you guys. Yeah. Appreciate it. I think we went over in time. Sorry, Matt.
It's okay. I just appreciate you guys doing this. And yeah, thanks, Kevin and Colin. We really appreciate you guys providing this today. And this is going to be a topic that we're going to come back to, especially with Thrive Varsity.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to